We're continuing with Halachot of Amira Legoy, and now we're going to speak about what happens if the Goy is going to come and he's going to turn on the lights for you. So, as we mentioned yesterday in the introduction, obviously we're not allowed to benefit from the light. There will be some exceptions to the rule, which we'll learn a little bit later on. However, though, we're not allowed to come and we're not allowed to benefit from the light. So now when we're not allowed to benefit from the light, this is going to be prohibited even if I have this Goy bekablanut, or I went and I put a certain amount of money that I'm going to pay him each time. Kablanut means that I'm going to come and I'm going to pay him for the job. His job is always to turn on the light, or his job is always supposed to do this certain halacha. Even so, in this case, it will be prohibited. Why? Because at the end of the day, there's no heter, and there's no permission in order to benefit from this, because the milacha is being done to benefit on the Shabbat. There is an exception to this rule. For example, let's say I gave a clothing to a tailor, and I gave it to them before Shabbat, and I didn't tell him when to do it. I told him I need this clothing, and all of a sudden he comes and he finishes it on Shabbat, and he brings it to me on Shabbat. So here there's a machloket between Maran and the Ramah, the Sfaradim and the Ashkenazim. According to Shitat Maran, we are allowed to be lenient that we could actually wear the clothing. According to the Ramah, we're not allowed to wear the clothing. Now why? Even though, because first of all, when I'm coming and I'm paying the tailor, I'm not paying him per hour, I'm paying him per the job. So therefore, if he wants, he could do it on Sunday. If he wants, he could do it on Friday. If he wants, he could do it on Wednesday. He could do it whenever he wants. So if he's going to choose to do it on the Shabbat, that was his problem. And I didn't tell him that I needed it Motzei Shabbat, and I'm giving it to him Mamash Erev Shabbat. Because if not, that means you're telling him in essence that to do it on Shabbat. Here I gave it to him on a Wednesday. I told him, please can you fix this up? I forgot that there was Shabbat Chatan on Shabbat. All of a sudden it comes Shabbat morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, they knock on my door, here it is. I said, Baruch Hashem, I didn't even realize it. He brought it on time. Beautiful, for me. Why not? You're allowed to wear it according to Shitat Maran. According to Shitat Ramah, you're not allowed to wear it, right? Because since it was done on Shabbat, you're not allowed to. But for us, since it was done by kablanut, which means that it was paid beforehand, and it wasn't that the benefit should be done on the Shabbat. And he didn't do it for you to put it on the Shabbat. He did it for you in general. He finished his job, he's going to bring it to you. Then there's no problem of benefiting. But according to this, says Rav David Yosef, now there's going to be a big problem. Why? There are certain people that they pay a goy shel Shabbat. Where this, I still remember, he spoke out against this, that in certain places in the world, they had like a goy shel Shabbat. For example, I remember in Venezuela, we used to go to the Bet Knesset, and every single morning the goy used to come, boom, turn on the light on Shabbat. He used to come afterwards, turn off the light. So first of all, he went very strongly against that, because he said, nowadays that we have Shaon Shabbat, why are you going to rely upon anything else? Which means there's a timer, right? If you have a timer, right, you use a timer. Why are you going to use anything else? Right? You have a timer, which is 100% ayated, and you don't have to rely upon anything else. But problem number 2 is this one over here, which means even if you're going to pay him according to job and not pay him per hour, it's still a suit to benefit, because when the goy is doing this for you, he's doing it for the Shabbat, and therefore you're not allowed to do that. So now, okay, you might get into shvut, right, that was going to be for a bet knesset, but that's only b'diavad, that's only if it's post factum. That's not lechatechila that a person can rely upon this every single time. And especially if it's going to be done on the property of a Jew, that's even worse. Because even if there's going to be, for example, this tailor case that we mentioned before, it was on his property. But if he's going to come on your property and start doing milachot on Shabbat, that's much worse, because now what's happening is that now he's actually doing something in front of your face, and you know that it's going to be for the Shabbat. So therefore, it's very, very important to realize every single time that we're doing something, that with a goy, don't just think, we have a goy of Shabbat, now we could do whatever we want. No, even for a goy of Shabbat, we have to know the halachot, what is permitted, what is prohibited. Sometimes there's problems of maritain, sometimes there's problems that you have to actually rebuke him, that you have to stop him from doing the milacha, because he's doing it on your property, and you know that he's doing it for you. So therefore, sometimes you have to actually rebuke, you have to tell him, you have to stop. Because if not, it's going to be a nisur. Many times it's happened that the goy has come, he wants to add water to the hot water urn. That's a isur bishul doraita. You have to rebuke him that he's not allowed to do that. Then if he does that, you're not allowed to benefit from the water. You can't just close the eyes and say, I don't know, or you even hint to him, you know what, there's not a lot of water. No. because the hint here, you are benefiting from the water, and this is an Isur Doraita, right, of Bishul, that he's coming and he's putting water, adding, and therefore all these things, whether it's going to be the Chul and all these different things, the Chamin, all these cases, a person has to pay attention what is prohibited and what is permitted, because if not, then we could get into a lot of Isurim that all of a sudden we're not allowed to benefit from the food on the Shabbat.